Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see from the title, this is another chickpea stew that I'm making. But this time it's in like a creamy white sauce instead of a red sauce. So here are our ingredients. You need some garbanzo beans. I'm using one 29-ounce and one 15-ounce organic garbanzo beans, canned. Some organic heavy coconut cream, grapeseed oil, one red, one green bell pepper, some red, yellow, orange sweet peppers, some fresh ginger, one sweet onion, some thyme, some mint, some rosemary, and these are my seasonings that I'm using. Hopefully you can see all of those. And also, for this recipe, we are going to be eating our chickpea stew with some green kale, and this is dinosaur kale, and this is just regular organic green kale, as you can see. Okay. Chopped up. I also grated the ginger. So now we're going to heat up our pan with our grapeseed oil. We're going to use about no more than a half a cup of grapeseed oil. And let it heat up a little bit. And then we're going to drop all of these veggies in there and the root. Ginger, green, red, bell pepper, all of the sweet peppers, and the one sweet onion. So now we have all of our veggies and root in the pot, and we're going to cover it up so that it can soften. Okay, so I've added both. How many ounces is this? 13.5 ounce cans of organic whipped cream, and I want to just show you that this is still alkaline because even though it's canned, because the ingredients are just simply organic coconut cream and filtered water, right? So you want to look for stuff that doesn't have any other additives in it, just organic coconut cream. Now we're going to add our rosemary and thyme. So I've added the rosemary and thyme. They say the more thyme you eat, the more good luck with money you have. So I would like to generously add thyme to my stew, and I'm just going to add a few bay leaves and let this sit covered for like 10 minutes. I'm also going to taste my chickpeas. I want them to be as soft as possible. So we're just gonna let this sit and stew about 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. Stew's been just simmering with all of our herbs, and I tasted it. The chickpeas are getting a little softer, but just to help break them open, sometimes I'll take my potato smasher and I'll just smash them down like this. And just let it continue to stew. So next I'm gonna start seasoning. So now this is when we add the annatto. Annatto is just for color, and it's also like a turmeric replacement. A lot of people like to eat their stew kind of like a curry stew. This is kind of like a curry stew. And so what this does is it changes it to that curry color, but keeps it alkaline. So to get a little turmeric-y looking. So I just like to add that just to change it from this white milky color to a little orangey color. And I think this is about 2 teaspoons. And then that's really it. You don't really need to add it. I'm just adding it for color. And now I'm just gonna season with all of my seasonings. Okay, so now I've seasoned the taste, and you can see it has like that yellowish hint, as if we like added turmeric. So that's really cool. Now we're gonna shuck our kale and add it in, and then we are done. I'm gonna let that stew, and then we're done. So I usually know when to add the kale, and that's when the thyme leaves need to be taken out, like when all the thyme is off of the branches. That's when it's time to add the kale. And I may add maybe like no more than a cup of water, just to thin it out a little. Just 1 bushel of kale off, and I make sure I shucked them. So we don't want to include the vein. We just want the leaves. And we want to cut it up really nice and then add it to our stew. So of greens, 1 whole green kale and 1 half dinosaur. And I'm just gonna mix it in like so, like that, as Tabitha Brown says. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of coconut milk to thin it out a bit. Just a little, maybe like a half a cup for starters, because we don't want it too thin, but we still want our kale to cook down for a minute. So I added like not even a half a cup. I didn't even measure. I'm gonna be honest. But you see this consistency? This is it, because this is gonna cook down even more. I like my kale to be just a little crunchy, not too slimy, just a little crunchy. But it's still gonna cook down. And I could probably add more kale to this now that I've mixed this in, which I probably will. So this will, more than likely will have about 2 bushels of kale in total. Okay guys, so this is how it looks with 2 bushels of kale. And so it tastes so good. I mean, if you season this thing right, oh, Jesus Lord. So now the last thing is we cut up our mint. I'm going to use this whole pack. This is a little 5-ounce pack of mint, and I'm dropping it in here, and I'm just going to let it simmer. Alright, so that's all my mint going in. Coconut kale chickpea stew. I'm eating it with a side of mushroom cap steaks. So good. And it's a really great replacement chickpea stew if you don't eat tomatoes.